We are Fran and Rich, and along with our spaniel Archie, have been exploring the canals and rivers of England and Wales for the last 7 years. Now we have Percy the motorhome to further extend our adventures, so please stick around and travel along with us. Didn't we have the most amazing sunrise this morning, Francis?
Did we? I don't know.
It was incredible. It's the best sunrise I've ever seen aboard Laura Maisie.
Unfortunately, I only got to see a photograph of it because I was asleep. But that Sunday morning we're allowed to. But we do get amazing sunrises and sunsets here. We've found a few favourite mooring spots, and this one in particular, you can see, I'm looking out of the window at it, right down to the estuary, right across to whatever forest it is, the Forest of Dean over there, and it's just our best spot. So yeah, if you can wake up in time. But it was red sky in the morning, which is what, shepherd's warning. And
yes, sadly it has turned for the worse. We are blowing a gale out there and we're rocking around like a good one. The rain's teeming down, so we're just hunkered inside. I'm editing videos and you're doing a bit of weaving preparation.
Making fluff, we call it. But you can't even sit at the dinette to edit, can you? Because the boat is going sideways like that, and it actually is making us feel really queasy. But you're still working, aren't you?
I am. Anyway, there's a purpose to this preamble to the video, and that is...
We've got, what's to us, big news. We've been getting very excited about something. I'm planning something for a few weeks and it is time to share it with you.
But we can't do it yet because you've got to watch the video. But it's at the end of the video. And if you can't be bothered to get through the video, just fast forward a bit. Anyway, here's the video and thanks for watching. Sun's shining, so we thought we'd come out for a walk around the beautiful village of Frampton.
It's one of those days that tease you and you think, that's it, spring's coming.
Yeah.
And then next week it'll be snowing again, won't it?
With a bit of luck.
But we're going to just make the most of it. On a day like this, you have to get out and enjoy it, really.
So it's a really old village dating back to Doomsday times. So let's see what Frampton's got to offer. The picturesque village of Frampton-on-Severn lies on a bend of the River Severn in Gloucestershire. Mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1086, it's reputed to have the largest village green in England, some 22 acres. St Mary the Virgin Church is a historic gem dating back to the 12th century, but consecrated in 1315. There may have been a church prior to this date. The 14th century tower, topped with a spire, is a landmark visible across the Severn Vale. It's amazing to think that this door is the original 13th century and a huge iron key is still used to this very day. Music lovers amongst you will be interested to know that the organ was built in 1866 at a cost of £209, and the first person to play it was Sir Hubert Parry, a famous composer. Frampton Court House and Estate has been in the Clifford family since the late 11th century, originally from land bequeathed by William the Conqueror. The main buildings being Frampton Court and Manor Farm across the village green. Nice work if you can get it, eh? The village green, some half a mile long, was known as Rosamond Green, supposedly after King Henry II's lover. Around the village green is a designated conservation area, including Tudor and Georgian houses. There are so many footpaths zigzagging across the village. It's too much to do in one day, so we'll have to leave that for another day where we'll also walk around the lakes. What's the recipe today, Fran?
It's soup weather, isn't it?
Do you remember
Cold.
that Jimmy Young show?
No,
Back in the 70s.
I'm not old. I was only tiny.
He used to do a daily recipe. What's the recipe today, Jim? Anyway, moving on.
Leek and potato soup.
Yay.
It's definitely soup weather today, and using up a few bits and pieces that I've got in the fridge that need using up. So
There's something actually in the fridge.
Yeah, there is now.
went
After
shopping.
yesterday, we've got a fridge full of stuff now, but there is also something left over. So I've got about half an onion, which I'm going to fry in some butter alternative. You can use butter if you wish. And I'm going to fry that for about 5 minutes, soften it. And then I'm adding 1 chopped leek and a chopped potato. Now, I wouldn't normally peel a potato to go in soup because the nutrients are all just under the skin and we rarely peel them, but this one was a bit dodgy looking and I didn't want black eyes in the in the soup. So that's going to go in and cook down for about 5 minutes. And these are my leftovers, a couple of potatoes from the salad last night. They're just going to go in as well because I can't bear any waste. So we've got half an onion, 1 potato, 1 big leek, and a jug of a quarter stock topped up with milk, enough for whatever volume you want. And once this is softened, the milk and the stock are going on with a little bit of Dijon or whole grain mustard, which I really love with a leek and potato soup, salt and pepper, and it's only about 11 o'clock, so that's going to sit on the fire for
2 hours.
an hour or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're using oat milk. That's okay in this, is it?
Yeah. Oat milk is, I mean, it only needs to be cooked really slowly. Number one, because your milk might boil over, and also because you don't want it to curdle. I've had it curdled before now, so just keep it heated really slowly. But our fire is perfect for that because it's not a hot heat on top. It will just gently simmer away. Yeah. And then we've got these spring onions. Are fantastic. I'm going to sprinkle these on when it's done. But if you chop the end off, you can see the roots growing on those already. So when you cut a spring onion, save the end, just pop it in compost, and every day you will see that beginning to grow inside. And then you can just cut the leaves off and use them as spring onions. We'll put them into a pot on the roof.
So how long will those stems have to be before you start cutting them off?
Oh, it'll be about 2 or 3 weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
But as soon as they're long enough and there's a couple on there, you can take them off for trimmings, for
Cool.
garnish. And they'll last us all summer. I probably won't buy more spring onions now, once these are growing. Oh, maybe another bunch. But, yeah, everlasting spring onions. So, Fanny Craddock's cooking and gardening tip of the day. And if you know who Fanny Craddock is, Fanny Craddock?
Fanny Craddock.
Fanny Craddock is, then yeah, you're as old
We
as me.
really are showing our age today, aren't we? Back to the 70s.
Anyway, a quick, simple, cheap lunch, and obviously put in whatever seasonings you want into there as well. I might actually put in a big spoonful of nutritional yeast, which gives it a little bit of a cheesy flavour and is really high in B12, which we need.
Of course, also we could put in a spoon of turmeric as well, couldn't we?
Oh, I think I will. That's a good idea.
That's a miracle food, isn't it? Or
it's supposed to be a miracle,
spice.
Anti-everything. And it'll make it a bit yellow, but that's okay, isn't it?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea. Good job you're here, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
Watch the colour change. So I've given this about 5 minutes boiling just to soften the potatoes, and hopefully it will cook on top of the fire. If not, I might have to cook it a little bit longer at the end. But here goes.
Well, what have we got here?
Any of you that have been following us for some time will know that there's one thing that's really close to both of our hearts that has been missing from our life since we got the boat. And that's gardening, but more than just gardening, it's being able to grow our own vegetables and eat our own food. It's that one step closer, not to self-sufficiency, but to being in control of our lives. And we're just sick to death of eating chemically produced, plastic wrapped food. So we've decided to do something about it.
So we've only gone and got ourselves an allotment. And for those of you who aren't British, an allotment is like a communal area where people can pay a pittance, really. It's £20 a year for this plot, and grow your own fruit, vegetables and flowers. So the plot we've got is about 75 feet long by about 25 feet wide. And I think that's just enough for us to grow all that we need.
It'll be interesting actually, because both of us have had allotments all our lives, or all our adult lives, but we had families to feed as well. So you could only ever grow enough to top up your food. I mean, it was lovely all year round, you'd be able to go and pick something. But I sort of think that we might be able to grow, if we got it right, I think we could grow an awful lot of our food.
I think we could.
Here. And then maybe, I mean, things like potatoes and onions take a lot of room up. So if this all works out, we might wait and see and extend it next year. But let's not run before we can walk.
We haven't even dug this one properly yet. So we've had it for about a month, and the last couple of weeks especially, we've been digging, laying some paths, and sowing seeds on Laura Maisie that are popping up now in the little pots that we folded on in newspaper the other week. But we're chuffed, aren't we? We're so happy. It's
absolutely.
About a 15-minute walk from the canal, so we haven't got that far to go, and we're so lucky because we haven't got a local address, but this plot here allows you to be a boater and have a garden as well, so we're chuffed.
Yeah, it often isn't the case for council run allotments. You have to be a local resident, but this is privately owned, so we are really, really lucky. And apparently there are quite a few other boaters on here that we've not met yet,
so,
which will be interesting. But it's going to become our garden as well, isn't it? It's going to be a little bit of a retreat, and we can moor anything within like 2 miles either side of it, or 3 miles either side of it, and still walk down to the allotment when we need to. But at the moment we've got a lot of work to do, haven't we?
We have got a lot of work to do. I'll just turn the camera around in a bit and just show you the extent of the work to do. But yeah, this is what we're going to be doing. It's not going to stop us from cruising. It's not going to stop us from doing our normal vlogs, but we will be incorporating it in our future vlogs.
It's such an integral part of our lives. It's really the heart. What you're eating is is keeping you alive, and if you can't get that right, then nothing else can follow, as far as I'm concerned. And we're really hoping that we can, we've already bought a book on canning, Americans call it, or bottling and preserving. If we get it right, we can have food from our own garden all year round. We're aiming to go off cruising winter further afield when we're not needed here all the time. We're aiming to go off and explore waterways still, but hopefully we can take some of our food with us.
And the other aspect of it is as well, it's going to keep us fit. Digging
Absolutely.
and bending and stretching and sowing seeds, etc. It's going to help. We've both been to the doctors lately, and we've both got a fit bill of health.
Clean bill of health, yeah.
So we're
for older fogies, we're doing pretty well, really.
Pretty good.
But I tell
Nothing
you
wrong with
what,
us.
we've rediscovered some old gardening muscles that we'd forgotten about, haven't we? We're digging like mad. We wanted to do a no-dig allotment, but to do that, I'm not going to go into it, but you need heaps of topsoil or heaps of compost. And we're also trying to do this absolutely on a budget. We're trying not to buy any plants to put in. We're trying to grow everything from seeds, making our own compost, everything as basic and as cheap and as natural as possible. No pesticides, no slug pellets.
No. Well,
but let's see how we go.
Organic as possible, yeah. Completely
We're
organic.
really excited, and it's just going to complete our life, I think, isn't it?
And we've got some digging to do, so we better crack on. It's a fantastic day,
Yeah.
middle of February. The sun's shining, it's warm, we've got our coats off, and we're just absolutely in heaven.
It's one of those teasing days today, those days that make you think, oh, that's it, spring is here. But it's only going to be for a few hours, because tomorrow it's rain all day again. But you know what? While it's here, we'll make the most of it. And it's definitely gardening day today.
Not sure what Archie thinks about it. He's settled down a bit more now than when we first had the plot. But
he's being really good. He's not. We thought he'd have to be tied down because he'd be wandering off, but he's not. He's just watching both of us, and he's got his nose right under the fork when we're digging, hasn't he?
Yes.
To see what we're finding. Doesn't understand it. He just thinks we're moving soil from place to place at the moment, which we are. So let's go and do it.
yeah. Well, the day ended as it started, blowing a gale. But ho-hum, it's bedtime. Thanks very much for watching, and a big shout out to all our patrons and members. See you on the next one.